Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am super duper excited for this video because the guest I have for this video happens to be one of the baton twirling community's very own royalties. I'll let her introduce herself, so here she is.
Hi everyone, I'm Ella McDaniel. I am the 2019 Junior Miss Majorette of America and Junior Grand National Twirling Champion, and I'm so excited to be interviewing for you today.
I'm so excited. I mean, you and I are pretty close friends. We talk a lot, and we get to interact a lot at competitions just because we live relatively close to each other.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited for you. How have you been enjoying your year so far?
It's been so fun. It's still pretty early, so I actually had my first competition this past weekend, and it was so much fun. It was just a small Massachusetts contest, but I got to interact a lot with the little kids. I got to judge the baby modeling, which was pretty much watching their solos and modelings and marchings and giving them a medal. So it was super cute. But then besides that, we've just been getting everything organized and getting all the embroidery done on the sash and everything, which is really exciting, and just getting ready for the year ahead.
Of course. There's a huge checklist that comes along with the title of Miss Majorette of America and Grand National. There's so many things and so many opportunities you get to participate in. And I know my absolute favorite part was getting to travel to all the competitions and interact with the little kids. I'm such a kid lover, so having the crown definitely sparked their interest even more so. So it just gave me even more opportunities to interact with them. So, and I'm sure you're loving it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I can imagine. So I have a few questions that I think will help let me better know you, and as well as the rest of the twirling community. I mean, they're pretty general, but I think it's things that you don't always get asked because they are kind of general questions, and it's something you don't often think to ask somebody. So I'd like to know. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to ask you was, why do you love to twirl?
Well, twirling's been my passion ever since I was been 5 years old. I started twirling when I was 5 because I saw at my dance recital, the second year I danced, there was baton twirlers there, and I was sitting in the audience, and I just remember looking over at my mom and being like, I want to do this. I know I'm going to love doing this. And so the next year she signed me up for baton, and I haven't looked back since. It's been so much fun, and it's been such a whirlwind and experience. So I just have such a passion for it. I just love doing it. I love everything that goes along with twirling, more than just the athletics, but also the interactions you get to have.
Absolutely. I mean, I've gotten to interact with you a lot throughout the years, and I mean, you're such a people person. I love that. And I mean, twirling just opens so many doors for you to interact with others, whether that be with other adults, little kids, like we just talked about, other peers your age. You get so many opportunities to meet incredible people.
Yeah.
Okay, so since you have won Miss Majorette of America before, I'm a little bit curious to find out what your favorite part about being Miss Majorette of America has been. In the past or present.
Yeah. So, like we just talked about, I love interacting with all the little kids at competitions, but also getting the opportunity to travel and perform is really great because through performing and interacting with people, because you have this title, you're able to share why you love the sport and just everything about it. Additionally, having your Miss Majorette of America sisters is a bond like no other. I'm so lucky to have not one but now 2 sets of sisters, which I'm so excited about, and they really make your year that much better. So just something to look forward to.
For sure. Because you get invited to so many different competitions and so many opportunities to travel, oftentimes every single Miss Majorette of America gets invited to those competitions. So you get to travel so much with them. It's they literally become your second family, which is really great.
So much fun.
Yeah. Now, coming along with the title of Miss Majorette of America, there are some added pressures because so many people watched you win at nationals, and now you have kind of a thing to live up to. And although that's because we are twirling every day of our lives, that often doesn't phase us much. But I'm just curious to see how you might handle that type of pressure, or even what's your philosophy on twirling before you take the floor and those kind of things.
So my philosophy for myself is definitely to always put everything out there. if you're different and unique, you really stand out to not just the judges, but the audience that are watching you. And it really makes you stand out and just be someone different and someone who's not just the usual twirling that you're always used to seeing. So having that philosophy in mind while I go out and twirl makes me not play it safe all the time and take some risks, which really helps you in the long run. And for the expectations part of that question, there's definitely an expectation as Miss Majorette of America to be a role model and a leader to a lot of little girls and boys across the country. So that's something I really try to embrace and make the most of because it is really fun if you make it fun. So that's just something that comes and it's very exciting, comes along with the job.
Absolutely. And like you said, you do then become such a role model for all of those younger twirlers. Like I said, having the crown on just adds it makes them look at you twice as much. So you really have to make sure you're paying attention to what you're doing while you're not only in the sash and crown, but even elsewhere, and during a costume change, warming up. Little kids are going to be watching your behaviors no matter what you're doing, whether that be just having a conversation with your mom after you might have had a bad routine. They're watching how you're reacting in every aspect of the situations. So it is. There's many, not only the pressure of competing and people watching you, but your behavior when you think no one's looking really matters.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. And I'm sure you got to see that a little bit at this competition you went to this past weekend. I remember when I went to my very first competition as Miss Majorette, I felt so many eyes were on me. I didn't know what to do. It was really, really odd, but I mean, it's something that comes along with the job. And I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's you love it because you work so hard for that. That's your big goal. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, even at this contest this past weekend, I was just warming up for rhythmic. It was my first routine of the day, and I just look up and I just see a couple of people watching me, and it just made me work even harder when I was warming up, or just try to show them that all the hard work is worth it.
Yeah, it's almost you become twice as aware of your surroundings, which is weird because you always think you're aware, but it changes a little bit. But you know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, so this is the last question I have, and I mean it's pretty general, and I'm just curious to find out what your plan as Miss Majorette of America is. I mean, it's a little bit different because you're junior Miss Majorette of America. You won't have to worry about your slogan for shirts or anything quite yet. But I know that ever since I was little, I had this this big goal in mind. If I ever had the opportunity to be Miss Majorette, there were things that I really wanted to try to achieve while holding that title. And I'm curious to find out if you have any.
Well, I really want to travel as much as possible just because that brings so many new experiences to your usual twirling career, to go to a bunch of different contests that you haven't been to before, and you get to meet so many new people because I'm used to just staying up in the Northeast and I'm around all my friends up here. But going down to other states is really something that's new and exciting because I get to meet all these different people and I get to see what their twirling's like and everything that's so different. But I also want to try. Also, one of my goals is try to make an impact in people and try to share a passion and love for baton and show them why we do what we do and that all your hard work, it really does pay off.
And I mean, I love that because twirling is such a big sport, in our small little world. So twirling, in the big picture is this small little world, but to us it's huge. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really cool that we as well, not me anymore because I kind of handed away my title now, but as Miss Majorette of America, you get the opportunity to explain to these youth that are new to twirling, and the people, whether they're youth or not, you come to twirling older, younger, whatever, but you get to explain to them your passion and trust me, your hard work's gonna pay off. It's not a waste of your time. If you love it, keep going because it's worth it in the long run. And like you said, your plan is to travel as much as you could. That was a huge goal of mine as Miss Majorette too, because I had the opportunity to travel before, but I knew that as teenage Miss Majorette of America, it was the only time I could ever really win Miss Majorette of America. So I was I really want to make the most of this. My goal was to go to every single competition that I got invited to, and I think I got pretty close. I think I maybe only had to miss one or two. Which was really, really exciting because I was really, really close to achieving one of my goals. But to commemorate all of the travels and everything that I did every pin from the competitions that I went to. And you and I chatted about that a few times over last year. But that was really cool in addition to it. I mean, even if you weren't to do that, it might be cool to like scrapbook it or journal it, which like a lot of people told me to journal, but I felt like I was kind of doing like vlogs for everything. Like I kind of had a video journal of everything that I did. So that's kind of how I kept a memory of everything. But I thought it would have been really cool to like create, like get like a notebook, a spiral notebook, like even a bigger one, and create like 2 pages per competition I go to. And you could include like picture collages and like kind of write about what your experience was. And one really major thing that made you like appreciate your title even more. Like sometimes I had situations where little kids would come up to me, like ask me a question, and I would remember like walking away from the situation like, wow, I never really thought about that. But like a little 6-year-old just came up to me and asked me, and it was like kind of eye-opening, and that opportunity never would have came without the title. Like those kind of things, like I tried to make sure that I had memories of them and kind of kept track of everything that happened. So make sure you're trying to do that because the year goes by so fast.
In 2016, when I was preteen, I kept like one, whether it be like the brochure, like just like I think I even kept a balloon from one contest, and I put it all in like a little like memory box. So but the scrapbooking is something to keep in mind. It seems like a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has different ways of like keeping track of like their monumental times and moments in life. And I have one of those little boxes for like my personal big things. Like I have like my very first like Broadway play tickets. Like I have like all of those kind of things saved, like super little tacky things, but big fun times in my life that I decided to keep things from, and they're in a little memory box like that. But yeah, I mean, that covers all of the questions that I had for you, but I'm super, super duper excited to follow along your year as Miss Majorette. I think you're going to be such a great representative. I mean, you had the opportunity to represent a few years ago, and I mean, the fact that you just get to do it again is incredible. I'm so excited to see what you do with your year. You're going to be such a great role model for sure.
Thank you.
My pleasure. I mean, I've really enjoyed talking to you, and like I said, we were friends before, so I knew most of these things about you, but I figured the rest of the twirling community would love the opportunity to know you a little bit better before we follow your year as Miss Majorette.
Oh, thank you. I'm so excited for everyone to see. It should be a great year.
Me too. It's trust me, don't blink though, because the year will go by so fast. It's like I cried so much at nationals because I was like, how did this happen? How is the year over? It's crazy.
We definitely have a picture, and you're crying in it.
Totally
pictures.
Yep. I look back at pictures from like the last day, like big show day, from this past nationals, and every single picture, I'm like red in the eyes. My eyes are watery. I'm like, oh gosh, I look terrible. But I mean, it's authentic. It's how I was feeling at the time. So I mean,
yeah, the good memories to look back on.
For sure. Sometimes I just go back and reminisce through the pictures and wish I could go back in time. But really soak it all in, okay?
Will do. Thank you.
My pleasure. All right. Well, it was really good getting to chat with you, and I will see you soon, I'm sure. We'll be at a competition together soon.
Oh, definitely.
All right. Well, enjoy your year, okay?
Yes. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for watching today's video.
If you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below.